And welcome to morningencouragement.com. My name is Glenn Siepert, and it is super great to see you here today. We are on day number 4. Okay, 4. Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4. I can't move all my fingers separately. They all move at the same time. Day number 4 of the Gratitude Project, and I'm super pumped about this thing. I mean, so far it's been going really well. I've learned a lot from these videos. We got 10 different videos over the course of 10 different days. By 10 different people, but everybody's talking about gratitude and what it means to be thankful, not just during the Thanksgiving season, but what to look like to be thankful all year long. And how can your attitude of gratitude, for lack of a better phrase, how can that not only just change your perspective, but really alter the atmosphere around you and the perspectives of the people that God brings into your life. Sorry, I just punched the microphone. Anyway, today we have the opportunity of hearing from my best friend. His name is Rob Schwinge, and Rob Schwinge is not just my best friend, he's also one of my pastors at Powerhouse Christian Church in Wyckoff, New Jersey, and this guy, he is just awesome. We have known each other for a super long time. We actually went to high school together, but funny story, really quick, we didn't really know each other in high school. Like, I knew of him, he knew of me, but it's not like we hung out. We were in different grades and stuff like that, so we didn't really hang out or anything like that. But our wives became friends a bunch of years later. Her name is Jen, my wife is Dana. They became friends, and they were like plotting about how to have us become friends. And so they were always trying to get us to go out and hang out together and go for coffee or, go to the batting cages or whatever, just go hang out. And for the longest time, we didn't because we're both, super introverted. We both like to kind of do our own thing, so we didn't really take them up on their advice to become friends. But once we did, man, we went out for coffee and we started to hang out, and he is my best friend. We go out every Thursday morning, and we just talk about life. Sometimes we talk about church stuff. Sometimes we, dream together, talk about, the different things that God is doing in our lives. Other times, we talk about the hard things. There's been times we've sat over coffee at Starbucks and have shed tears just about some of the hard things going on in life. But he's that person that I can go to and I could talk to about anything. And I know that there will be no judgment, but there will be just complete grace and love and mercy. This guy has been Jesus to me in so many different ways. So all that to say, I'm super excited for him to share his heart with you today. One of the things that I've asked every single person to do who shot one of these videos is just to listen to God and say, hey, God, what is it about Thanksgiving and gratitude that you want me to share with people who are going to be watching these videos? So whatever he says to do, whatever Pastor Rob says to do, whatever Sweb yesterday said to do, Dr. Rob Reamer on day 1, people who are going to be coming in the upcoming days, whatever they say, just do it. I mean, don't overthink it. If they give you like a suggestion to go out in your day and to do A, B, and C, don't think about it. Just go out and do A, B, and C, because I guarantee you it's going to make your life so much better, and it's going to inspire the lives of people around you. So all that to say, I'm going to be quiet. I'm going to do some iMovie crazy effects right now. I'm going to blur myself right out of the screen, and I'm going to blur him in, and he's going to share his heart with you. So kick back. It's like 8-9 minutes, something like that long. Relax, soak it in, and go out and do whatever it is that he says to do, and live your life with a super, super duper attitude of gratitude. See you tomorrow. Tomorrow is day number 5. 5. See you then.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam. Did I get your attention? Hey, thanks so much for checking out this morning's guest post at morningencouragement.com. My name is Rob. I'm one of the pastors at a church up here in North Jersey called Powerhouse Church. And I'm just so grateful that Glenn gave me the opportunity to share a little bit this morning on this topic of gratitude. The funny phrase that you just heard me say was actually something that I've studied from the Hebrew book of blessings. Right, I've always been fascinated with the Jewish culture, and I think one of the biggest reasons that I've been fascinated with them is because of their rich heritage and their history and their attitude that they had towards giving thanks to God. The phrase that I just said was a blessing that the Jewish people would recite each and every day. The Jewish culture was actually saturated in prayer. Now, these weren't just prayers of, God, please fix this for me. God, please do that. Make this better. Make this more. Make this less in my life. But they were rather prayers of blessing, prayers of gratitude, prayers of recognition for things in their lives. For instance, it was tradition in the Jewish culture that when the rooster would crow in the morning for them to wake up, right? They would say a prayer that went something like this: "Blessed is he who gives discernment to this rooster to know the difference between morning and night." Now, I wonder how many of you have actually stopped to give thanks for your alarm clock when it goes off in the morning. Many of us don't, right? Or for instance, when the Jewish people would open their eyes, they would say a blessing of, "Blessed are you, God, who gives sight." When their feet hit the floor, they would say, "Blessed are you, God, who directs our steps." You see, the Jewish culture, before their feet even hit the floor, they had dozens and dozens of blessings. And then when they left their house, forget about it. The blessings were endless. When they felt the cool breeze, they would say, "Blessed are you, God, who directs the wind." When the sun was shining, "Blessed are you, God, who put the sun in the sky." One of their best blessings was actually when they would say, when it was raining, they would say, "Blessed are you, the God who brings rain." A Jewish rabbi said that he believed one of the best times to thank God was when it was raining, because it meant that God was in the business of giving out blessings that day. You see, for the Jewish people, rain or water, that was a source of life to them. So when it would rain, it was a recognition in their minds. It was a reminder to them that God was providing. And when was the last time that you thanked God for the rain in your life? You know, I think about the topic of gratitude. It's easy for us, in my opinion, to be grateful for the big things that we see in our lives, right? Our job, our health, our family, a career, school, whatever it is, right? Right. Sometimes we don't struggle as much when it comes to thanking God or being grateful for the big things. But the area that I see us struggle with the most, and I know it's an area that I struggle with personally, is in recognizing the daily blessings that God gives us often, always, forever. And I think that for some of us, we need to step back a little bit and realize that everything that we have comes from God. Just like the Jewish culture would do, our eyes open and we could see, "God, thank you that I could see today. Thank you that I could walk. Thank you that I had food in my fridge to fill my stomach. Thank you that I had a job to go to, a school to attend," whatever it may be. I think for some of us that are wrestling with this idea of gratitude, one of the biggest reasons that we wrestle with it is because we're expecting these big things to happen all the time. But what we don't recognize is that God is in the midst of each and every moment of every day. The fact that our eyes are open, the fact that our heart is beating, the fact that we're taking a breath is in and of itself a miracle. And I think for many of us, we miss that. And we feel like we have very little to be grateful for. We have very little to be thankful for. And so many of us wrestle with these feelings of sadness, of pain, of grief and sorrow, feeling like we're abandoned, feeling like we have nothing. But yet I wonder how our perception would change if we simply looked at every minute of our day in our lives. You see, when we recognize that everything we have is a gift from God, something incredible happens. We also recognize that God is in everything that we have. That in and of itself is enough just to stop us and say, I can't even go on. I just want to be grateful for that. The fact that God, the King of Kings, the creator of the universe, chooses to bless me, chooses to give me life, chooses to give me breath in my lungs. That should cause us just to stop and just thank him and be praising him for that. So I think if you're like me, if you wrestle with having this attitude of gratitude, for lack of a better word, I think one of the things that we need to do first and foremost is to start noticing that God is in everything that we have, that everything that takes place in our day is a gift, and a gift from God. You know, you might look at the Jewish culture and you might hear me say that they have dozens and dozens and dozens of prayers of blessings and think, well, isn't that a little excessive? Right? Isn't that just like a little over the top? And, you know, as I was thinking about that, I was wondering, you know, why is it that they would do that every day? Like every minute of every day, they were trying to reflect and thank God for his goodness and his gratitude in their lives. And I wondered why would they be so excessive about it? And you know, I have two small kids, right? I have a 6-year-old son and a 4-year-old daughter. And one of the things that my wife and I are constantly working on with them is getting them to say please and thank you. So it's constantly like, hey, you know, did you say thank you? Or I give them their breakfast. What do you say? Thank you. What do you say? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And my kids get to the point where they're kind of like, all right, Daddy, we get it. Like, thank you, thank you, thank you. But I was thinking about that, and I'm like, why do I push so hard for them to say thank you so often? And I think the big reason that I push so hard for that, and my wife pushes so hard for that, is because we know that the more that they do it, the more it becomes a natural expression for them. The less they have to consciously think about it, and the more it just flows from them. And then I thought about the Jewish culture, and I thought, you know what? They had these dozens and dozens and dozens of blessings because they wanted blessing to never be far from their lips. And they knew that the more that they recognized it, the more that they acknowledged it in their lives, the more it would purely, freely flow through them. You know, Thanksgiving season is a rough time for a lot of us. And unfortunately, a lot of times Thanksgiving can cause us to think about the things that we don't have. The things that we wish we had, the things that we wish were better in our lives. And it's amazing how quickly those thoughts, if we allow them to keep flowing through our mind and out our mouth, kind of become just our natural rhythm and our natural language. You know, I want to encourage us to do something this Thanksgiving season. I want to encourage us to practice having attitudes that are full of gratitude. And here's how I think we can do this. I want us to start taking note, just like the Jewish people did in the time the Bible was written. I want you to do this with me. For a few days, I want you to just make a note on your phone. If you're old school and you want to write it on a piece of paper, whatever is going to work for you to get it in front of your eyes, I want you to do something. I want you to start writing down the blessings that God has given you in your life. So you wake up in the morning, take note of it. God, thanks that you woke me up today. Thanks that my heart's beating. Thanks that my lungs are working. Thanks that I can walk to my fridge. You get to your fridge, oh wow, I have food in it. God, thanks that you gave me food so I can have the energy I need to go to the job. Oh wait, I'm going to a job. You gave me that too. Start taking note of all these things and start thanking him. God, thank you for this. Thank you for that. Thank you for the food. Thank you for the job. Thank you that you're involved in my life. And I want us to start just creating this momentum of gratitude in our lives. Recognizing everything that we have in and of itself is a miracle. And it is a gift from God. And I believe that when we start to recognize the small things, the things that might seem mundane in our lives, we'll recognize that they're actually miracles and gifts from God. And our response will just have to be, God, thank you. Thank you. I'm grateful to you. I'm grateful for you. Thank you for your involvement in my life. I hope that this Thanksgiving season, God is able to speak to your heart and show you the gifts that he's so freely given to you, and that you'll be able to praise him and thank him for his involvement in your story, because he loves you that much. Have a happy Thanksgiving, everybody, and thanks for the time this morning.